The perfection program. That's what they call it. It gave me life, but it also caused death. I never asked for any of this. Running from superpowered murderers who want revenge? Revenge for something I did? Something I can't remember. But I won't run. I refuse. I don't want to be controlled anymore. This world needs more heroes than villains. That's more important than anything, isn't it? My existence has to mean something. It has to make a difference somehow. For Virgil. For Aaron. I need to be worth this life I've been given. I need to do what's right. Even if it kills me.
Woohoo! Yeah, I love that trailer, man. I love that comic. I love that trailer. I love working on it. I love everything about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Drink with Brink. We've been away for a few weeks. This is very irregular, but sometimes we find cool guests with their own projects, other creators, and we like to talk with them. And I love to give them the opportunity here. So that's pretty cool. So we'll be starting with that soon. But first, I'd like to remind you that Perfect 10 issue 2 is still active right now. It's in demand. We have one more backer to go, and we're at 250. So who will be backer 250? I can't wait, man. And I've been working on the script for number 3, which is very exciting, and I can't wait, man, to pick that one up. And but so far we're still in the fulfillment stage. And I think I'll be done fulfilling this week. So that's awesome. That's awesome news. All right, on to our guest. For some people, he is not new because you see him everywhere. If you follow live streams and you like indie comics, then this guy, you see him. There he is. There he is. There's the famous guy. Everyone knows him. So, and he has been a guest before on the Dutch Angle, but this time we are going to dig into his own creative field, comics, and his passions. So let's bring him on. Here is Mike Jimmy. Hello, Mike.
What up, Louise?
Hey, man. How are you doing?
250 backers, man. Holy crap.
Almost. Yeah.
Dude, here I am with my 36.
36. Well, that's pretty good, man.
Well, I'm enjoying every second of it. It's more than I made on the last campaign, so I'm happy about it. But dude, that's awesome.
Thank you. Because you're from the Netherlands also, and your audience, your target audience is that the Netherlands too, or is that?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, it's like. The reception from Love and Cora on the Dutch audience on conventions and everything was so incredible. Like that, if it wasn't for 2020 and COVID, I would have easily been able to keep producing Love and Cora without crowdfunding. So,
right. So it was that. It was that popular here.
Yeah, no. On the first convention I went to, we sold 1 copy. On the last convention in 2019, we made one hell of a profit. So yeah, like
Nice.
it got popular quick.
Awesome. Conventions, man. I
Yeah,
really
I
miss
miss them.
those. I miss those.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, like it's very much Franco-Belgian. I mean, you've read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
Like,
you have Dutch versions also.
no, I only publish in English, so
Mm.
that was my main surprise to see it blow up like that, even if it's just English.
So why, if your main audience is Belgium and the Netherlands, did you publish the English book?
Well, my ex was French, and she was the original writer for Love and Cora.
All right.
And so we would be talking English at home. Her second language was English as well, and as is mine. And it worked for us, you know, especially in the communities on Discord and on Tapas that we were in, because we originally published this to Tapas as well. So um,
Tapas?
Tapas.io. It's a webcomic website,
All
like
right.
webtoons. It's
Right.
slightly smaller, but it's one of the big two on webcomics.
Okay. So
And
did you get a large portion of your revenue through Tapas?
no, we got some very nice tips and everything, but um, it wasn't to make money. It was to show off the fact that we could make a comic, you know.
Right.
And when we published the first issue and financed it through our own pockets and everything, it got a very nice hype behind it. Like people really enjoyed what they were reading, even if looking back, like I'm gonna say, like even then I could have done a million times better. But
Okay. So
if,
why didn't you?
because I wanted to show off that I could finish something,
Right.
and like compared to issue 3 and onward, like issue 2 was in the middle of that. It was like it was made in 3 months, so I really pushed on it. And so yeah, I took some shortcuts. It's digitally inked, stuff that I would not do nowadays,
Mhm.
but it was a lesson to learn, and I'm glad I learned it. I'm proud of the comic we put down, even
Right.
though it's not the art that I would have considered the quality that I could do at that time.
Right. But it's good to have that first step, to not only to convince other people that you can do it, but also to convince yourself,
Exactly.
because you have to learn what your own limits are and what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
you learn. The first issue wasn't really what
yeah.
I wanted to make, and you do better for issue 2, and then you grow.
Exactly. And so issue 1 took only 3 months to make, and then issue 2 took the bigger part of a year, and was 10 pages more as well. So we went from 22 pages in the first issue to 32.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the size that I keep to nowadays with issue 3 and 4 and all of the future, because it fits those stories just so well. Probably if I'm going to remaster Laugh and Cora 1 at some point, and I'm probably going to expand it to 32 pages as well, because there's enough story in there that I could grow on to really make it work.
Oh, cool.
So
All right. So this means you're going back to the first book, and you're going to redo all the art.
yes, eventually. I'm not going to yet, because I got Love and Cora 4 and 5 and up to issue 10.
Okay.
All scripted and ready. So it's just a matter of I have to keep up, but I also want to make Love and Cora bi-monthly. So every 2 months, a new issue. So yeah, I really got to push on that. And
that's a lot of work, man.
yeah, like we're talking 16 pages a month, and
16.
16, yeah.
16 pages. So each, right. Because
Every 2 days, a new page.
Yeah. Okay, and then you want to do the crowdfunding for each issue?
Probably not. Because I managed to find a printer here in the Netherlands that will do offset printing for really cheaply compared to the original printer we had in the United Kingdom. And so it would be easy for me to get it out of my own pocket and, have new issues out constantly, and start, mass producing it pretty much, and get it into stores and everything as a bi-monthly magazine. And probably get it through Liberty distribution, stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I mean,
so you have a deal with Liberty?
Yeah, no, like the way they work, because they're really doing it for the indie comics, is they don't show anything to the comic book shops that they are linked to unless they have it in stock.
Right.
So they already have to have the issues in their own warehouse before they will make it available for comic shops to order it.
Yes.
So, in that way, it would be very easy for me to just, push out new issues constantly, and get it in American comic shops. Have to see if I can get into Dutch comic shops. And of course do the conventions.
Right.
But considering the fact that I make floppies, I would rather pay for the floppies myself and push out volumes. Once I start going bi-monthly, so like every half year, you would get a volume with 3 issues in there.
All right. Right. So that's the way you will release them. So you won't release them as floppies, or
no. I will release them as floppies, but those will be the ones that you can easily get, and then the soft cover, maybe even hardcover trades will be crowdfunded.
Right.
So the fans we already got together from crowdfunding will be able to just get a nice solid book that will be a lot easier to ship, be a lot more worth their while, and probably for around the same amount of money. And that way I can make the volumes a little more exclusive and keep the floppies to just be put on conventions, and and if people just want, the big book with 96 pages of comic with 3 issues in there, they can get the trades instead.
Right. Man, that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So, but Life of Cora 4, that's available right now through Indiegogo. And when will this new method start? Is that from Life? Is that starting with the next book? Or
no, it's going to take a while, because I would have to be able to sustain myself with just the conventions and the passive income and smaller things, and I would have to hire a flatter for my colorist as well, because she wouldn't be able to keep up otherwise.
Right.
And so that would be even more money out of my pocket initially. And that, like, before I can do all that, I would really have to be able to sustain myself on the comics, and really, really be able to spend 7 days a week drawing, which right now I just cannot with my side job.
Right. So you have your side job, you have the comic books you make, so you need to draw. And then, of course, you're still stuck to this crowdfunding to these platforms, you need to crowdfund. So this means you need to do marketing, you need to do live streams, you need to make visuals for your pages and keep people updated. It's a lot of work. And then after the campaign ends, then you have to make sure the books are printed, they are correct. You have to ship everything out. So you're busy constantly.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I make 100-hour weeks easily, if not more. You know, and it's a surprise sometimes that I manage to get 8 hours of sleep. Right. But that's the one thing I will give myself every single day. The rest of it is just work.
That's passion, man. You really want this, you know. And
yes.
So what made you decide to get into comic books?
My dad was a very avid comic collector when I was smaller, so all the comics would be in my bedroom where I would read them before he even got the chance to look at them. And in 2017, I had a very, very bad breakup, and I felt so miserable that I was like, you know what, I'm going to be so masochistic, I'm going to start a comic.
Oh, really? It was like self-punishment.
Yeah, it was an outlet. You know, and
you needed something to focus on.
Yeah, and that was Sage the Sunset, which is a story that is currently on hold, but it taught me a lot. I got like 100 pages of story in out of like 250. It's a big story. It's a really epic fantasy. Oh yeah.
So you drew 100 pages of
110, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And it's not yet.
No, it's
available.
It's free to read on Tapas. It's not complete. Like it's actually stuck on a very hard cliffhanger. And I'm so sorry for the people that were actively following
bastard.
it. But I at about that time I met my latest ex, and we started making love with Cora together. And I found out that shorter, more contained stories were just more of my thing, especially with how unexperienced I was. Mm-hmm. And we did issue 1. We had some pretty decent success with pre-orders, but also with conventions. I started on issue 2, and we finished that in March 2020. Literally a week before Dutch Comic Con, where people were coming back to us like in November of 2019 going, when is the next issue coming out? We want more of this, you know? Right. So I was really trying to, and then everything shut down and I was just crying in a corner.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And at that time, I wanted to continue with Love and Cora. And I kept asking my ex, like, hey, are we going to keep doing this? Because, this is gold that we got in our hands. People want more of this. And she just didn't do anything about it. And finally, in July last year, she left. And the first thing I did was find new writers. And they have been supplying me with so much more work and love for this IP that I'm set for life right now.
Wait, your partner was the writer? Your latest partner?
Yeah. My latest partner was my writer, and she left. We broke up.
All right.
And last July she moved out as well. The whole shebang. Yeah. And what ended up was, felt bad for a while, and I was like, you know what? For the past half year, I've been trying to get new input on something that I love doing. And there are going to be writers that will be very, very enthusiastic about world build and, a free, an open world experience like this. Mm-hmm. And so I put out an advertisement on the Tapas forums, the same webcomic platform. And I got like 21 replies, of which only 2 were decent. The others were, I made a very popular poem in 2005, and I'm totally capable of making a comic script now. No, you're not.
Yeah.
And,
well, you can try,
Yeah, no, you can try, but not on Live from Cora.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they would start talking about their own ideas rather than, care about the fact that they were applying for a job. So, the 2 professional replies were Kimberly Kovac and Martin Fisher, who are now working both on Live from Cora, and they have not disappointed me. Dave, I love your poem in 2005. I wouldn't be able to get it to mind right now, but I'm sure it was awesome. And I'm pretty sure you've grown a lot since then and have actually written a script. They have not. But
in everyone.
Yeah.
Bristolian Dave.
There's a writer in everyone, but it doesn't mean they're good.
No. Yeah, exactly. Well, you yourself once stated that you don't have any imagination.
No.
Which was really remarkable to me, because you want to make comic books and you made your own comic before Life of Cora. And
no. My original comic was Sage's Sunset. And that was from someone making a prompt of a sage owl fighting a dragon. And that just stuck with me for some reason. Like, that really just resonated with me. And so I started writing it in prose.
Mm-hmm.
And about 20,000 words into the story, I was like, you know what? I'm writing a comic script here. It's just panel after panel after panel that I'm just writing down, and then dialogue, like it's and so about 20,000 words in, I was like, and I let it go for a good while. That was early 2017, and then my breakup happened in like September 2017. And yeah, I just felt so bad that I started making that prose story as a comic.
Mm-hmm.
And I slowly work everything out, but it takes me a lot of effort to think up a story. I'm really not good at it. I don't have the imagination. You can clearly see the inspirations that are in that story when you read it. And I don't deny those because, if I close my eyes, there's nothing there. I have complete aphantasia. So I really need a lot of references and I base my work on a lot of nature drawings, and I came into comics as a background illustrator and a concept art, like background concept artist. So, like, if you've seen the backgrounds of Live from Cora, that is the big thing, because that's where the heart goes. And then the creatures can take me weeks. I've already started. I started storyboarding issue 5 today, like earlier today, and I only got one of the 2 main creatures figured out in there.
All right.
So, like, it's
that process takes long. Yeah.
Yeah, the creation of it takes a lot of time, and it's not easy, but that also makes it a lot more fulfilling once I get finally just clicks and I'm like, yes, that is the kind of creature that my writer described.
All right, so you get some sort of outline from your writer, and you base your drawing on that description.
Yes.
Right. Let's give a hello to Islin. Welcome,
hey.
Islin. And she has a question. What about hearing the dialogue of the characters in your head?
So I am very much. I'm a lot more audio focused on that regard, but I don't really have the imagination to give the characters a specific noise in my head, a specific voice.
No, and we have to note, for as far I know, that Cora, this comic, is basically mostly without dialogue. These characters do not speak, right?
No, that was just issue 3.
Oh, okay.
Because in issue 3 we were following the hive mind sentient rock people, the Rockhola, and they literally didn't have a mouth. So they were sentient. They had a, they pretty much work like ants. So there isn't any real speech, but through ways of communication, they can think for themselves as much as they think for the hive.
Right. But these rock creatures, they didn't have mouths. But
no.
Do they have lightsabers?
No. These
Can
are
it be? No.
They're actually the rock is an exoskeleton.
All right.
So they're silicon-based creatures, and they have to keep really cool. And the rock keeps them, cool on the outside, and makes it able for them to move around and supply the hive with water to keep cool, nutrients, all that stuff. And they listen a lot to the creatures the other creatures from Cora that do have speech and everything. And they will just get the news from them, but they can't talk back themselves. And so they're kind of considered very scary to everything else.
Right.
Even if they don't.
So do you think about things if they are made, or they have this exoskeleton made of rock? Is it actual rock, or is it a rock-like substance?
No. It's an actual rock.
Okay. So can they feel things? Do they have nerve endings?
They do have nerve endings, and there's pretty much a web of tendons going through the entire creature, and they will manipulate it by pretty much moving water around. And it just happens that they took on a humanoid shape, but I could have gone for anything else, really.
Yeah.
And so they see and hear mainly from vibrations, around from the air and from the ground. And so they kind of have a 360 vision, but they can't communicate outwardly, only towards one another.
Right. That's cool, man. So these creatures. So you have this world with its own rules, which is based on the laws of nature and biology.
Yes.
Do some of these creatures, do they have a sentience comparable to humans?
Yes. Issue 1 and 2 follow the Tusker and the Nuttall, and these live in small tool-using tribes.
Right.
And
so they're very basic technology.
They got really high technology, but the reason they like the Tusker especially because they live on the ground, and so Cora is a sci-fi megastructure. And the ancient creatures that build them have been wiped out and they no longer exist. But they left behind ruins and buildings and a lot of hieroglyphs on the walls, explaining all kinds of things. And the Tusker, having been descended from the Nuttall, like they branched off to start living on the ground because there was a niche they could fill, started to study those hieroglyphs and figure out that there were machines they could use, and there are orbs that can be used as batteries that will recharge with the static electricity that's in the air, while the single cloud that gives water to everything goes around the continent.
Right.
And they make a very big ritual about it, which is the main focus of the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, they use all kinds of machines, and that gets further developed in Love and Cora 2, where Grund, one of the characters in Love and Cora 1, is so Grund. So Grund, yes, the name is ironic on exactly that reason,
mm-hmm.
because he sees Otzi, who falls from the ground, falls from the trees as a Nuttall, which is a flying creature, and she broke her wing being attacked, and they will they help her out. They mend her broken bone, and through weeks of reviving, Otzi gets familiar with the Tusker, and they start learning each other's languages. And in issue 2, we see Grund, who, after seeing a flying creature and seeing how it worked, gets so obsessed by it that he wants to learn to fly. And he makes all kinds of designs of wings, and he just fails time after time after time until he makes one that works. And so he goes to the highest building in their tribe, the highest ruin that he can find, and he jumps off. And then he realizes that wind up there is a lot stronger, and gets blown away to a completely different kind of ruin that he'd never been to. And his wings are broken, so we'll have to walk his way back. But he decides, you know what, it's early enough in the day, I'm going to look around a bit. And he finds that there is a flying machine described from the ancients. And so he goes looking around, trying to find more info about it. And then he stumbles over it and starts digging it out, because it's buried under years of sediment and everything. And he comes back to the village after his little adventure, manages to convince the village elder to take him on a hunting party there and finish uncovering this flying machine. And he jumps in, really excited, tries out the orbs, that power it and actually steer it. So they're like 2 orbs in front of him, and they pitch and roll and everything. And he wreaks havoc, runs into about every single tree. And yeah, it's very much about determination. If you want to get somewhere, you can.
Yeah.
And and then issue 3 is about overcoming your fears.
You have themes for every.
But they're unintentional. So my writer, no, they're not. They're just part of the story. Mm-hmm. They're a lesson learned, because that's how the story progresses.
Right. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
But you can define each book by their theme,
but
also by the creatures that play the largest role.
And then in issue 4,
it's like a nature series through a different world.
That's the main thing it is. It's a speculative biology series.
Right.
So we grow this world together with the reader, and it's very easy to get into. We give one page of exposition on this is what the world looks like, this is how it works, and you jump straight in. And it's suddenly a very character focused story.
Right.
And because it's only 32 pages, it wraps itself up very easily. It's very clear, but you can read it with your kids and have a wonderful time, as much as just picking it up as an adult and maybe getting a valuable lesson about it, or getting reminded of a lesson you learned as a kid.
Right.
And have a wonderful little story that you can read before bed and just put away and be like, oh yeah, that was a nice thing.
Yeah. But it's never. Do you see creatures dying?
No, not yet. They might,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna make
But
those
you try
gruesome noises.
you try to keep it up.
I try and keep it light.
Exactly. Right. Right. There is this series on Netflix. It's called Alien Worlds. Alien Worlds.
Yeah, I tried watching it.
All right. Right.
And literally, like, it was so focused on the comparison to the to Earth, like creatures that we have on Earth,
Right.
that it just bored me.
All right. Yeah. Too much
Like,
stuff. Yeah.
It made me. It makes me feel like I was talked down to as a kid.
Right. Right.
Like, it's very simple to understand things like, this is how a wing works.
Exactly.
Like, as a Dutch person with our education system, I learned this when I was 8.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
It was a very interesting series, but I could not do it. Like, I watched half an episode and I was like, no, sorry, this is not me.
Eastland says there are different ways to enter the work. For me, with my writing, which is not comics, my entry point is the characters.
They make a big part of this. They definitely do in Love and Cora. But where my writers will focus on the characters and on their little hero's journey.
Right.
Even if it's not a hero's journey, it could just be a day in the life of. But where they focus on that side, I focus on, but how do I make this work? How do I make this fantastical creature that they describe to me work in a world that I want to be able to be plausible? It's improbable. It's if we ever find this in space, I'm gonna go, I told you so, but how the fuck did this happen? But yeah, no, it's and they focus on the character and I focus on the world. So
Right.
once in a while I'll do a little creature brainstorm session where I just start with little silhouettes of creatures. I'm like, oh, I like that one, and I'll fill it out and make it work. And I wrote essays about how this world actually works because I love physics.
Yes.
And I love the sci-fi aspect of it.
Well, it's important too for the writers. They need to know what the rules are in your world. So, yeah.
And it's a lot of freedom for them. Like, I will rarely say no. But rather I would go, okay, but like this would be magical, and that would not work in this world.
Yeah, it's too fantastical sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right, man. So let's take a quick look at your campaign. Right? Do we need to watch the trailer?
Yeah. It best explains the theme of the story.
Right. Then let's do that. Yeah, cool.
So, like as you can see, like this is focused on the main character Clay, and the Messias, the creature that this issue is about, is have a very strict society where your inner talent defines everything about you in society. So it means that it dictates who you hang out with, what kind of people um, are in your life, who you talk to, what,
Like
yeah,
American politics.
well, yeah, but more on an individual sense,
Right.
you know,
It's very
and
tribal.
yes,
Yeah.
like you're good at this, so you're gonna do this for the rest of your life.
Right.
And so this is going to be about Calais, who wants to be something other than what he has been selected to be. And
Right.
through a little adventure, he finds out that just because you're one thing doesn't mean that that's the whole of you. And you can hone skills and you can work on things. And you know, you can be an entirely different person if you work at it. But that
Right.
doesn't deny the fact that that doesn't keep you from using your inner talents and your skill, your already honed skills, to make it easier for you to learn new things.
Yeah, but basically, this main character defies the rules and the habits and the culture. So
Well, he
how does?
does, but he gets taught through this little adventure that there are ways to grow yourself as, you know, something else without going against society. You know, in the same way that most comic artists will have a side job or, you know, a normal day job and still do this thing on the side because they
Yeah.
love it so much,
Right.
and grow on it, and dare to do something that in society is looked down on. I mean, every single comic artist and writer is going to hear, but how will you make money off of this? You know?
Yes.
And it's an incredible journey. Like, it was an incredible journey for me to go through this issue, because my writer puts it down in such a wonderful, easy to understand way that brings a lesson that we can all learn from without making it feel like you're being talked down to like a kid. You know,
Right. Right.
it's part of the character's growth rather than this is the lesson. Good luck, have fun. You know,
Yes. Yes.
like go be a rebel, because that's not what this story is about.
Right. So this is the main cover.
Yes.
This is what you get when you buy the book. And who made the logo?
I did. That has been the logo since Life on Cora 1.
All right, pretty cool. Yeah, it's a nice cover. Colors pretty good. You also work with this color scheme that's limited, right, for every issue?
Yes. So in Life on Cora, there is no red or yellow because the core only gives off blue light. And so you're going to get a world that is very vibrant, yet uses all these cooler colors like purple, gray, green, and blue, while feeling just as alive as you know, this world does. But there's just the whole frequencies of the of red and yellow light don't exist in this world.
Yeah. Okay, this is a variant cover.
Yes, by Nina Daisy Everline, who is currently running the Indiegogo for Sunrise Blossom. She is already in demand.
All right. Cool. Rich Perrotta. He did a black and white version or uncolored version?
It's an uncolored variant. So this is
Right.
going to be a black and white variant.
Mm-hmm.
He also did the inks for the main cover. So I did the pencils for the main cover, and I was happy about it. I mean, he was like, "Hey, would you like me to try a hand at your cover as well and see, how it turns out, just for fun?" And he did. They are awesome. And I put out a poll on Twitter going, "Okay, guys, which one do you prefer, mine or his?"
Mm-hmm.
He won really hard, but that's
Oh,
okay.
man.
No. Like, I admit, like, he has 25, like more than 25 years of
So wait,
experience as
this
an inker.
one from
No,
this one?
that one. And so my color is colored out, but yeah, you can get both my cover and his on like the original art.
Mm.
And then the variant was the inked digitally, and I actually have the original pencils. And I was a complete idiot, and I spilled coffee over it, so I will not. So it's not available on the campaign.
Okay. Eastland says, I have no color sense and I must work around it to do creative projects, but some have a natural good taste in colors.
Well, I'm not a colorist either. I suck at it. Yeah.
Kitty's hungry.
Yeah, she is. It's wet food time. I'm actually going to be right back because she's not going to keep meowing until I give her some wet food.
All right.
Be right back.
Sure, man. And we'll have a look at this campaign here. So, internal art. Look at this, man. Look at these colors. That's really nice. It's really nice. You have some examples. It's lettered also, so that's my question answered about the creatures having dialogue. Yeah, it's neat. Looks great. And this one really amazed me here. Create a Life of Cora story, and it's gone. That's amazing. I have to ask him about that. Let me.
Sorry for that.
Dave says you could call the coffee stain on artistic edition.
Yes, I could. However, that would mean that I would sell it, and it wouldn't hang on my wall anymore.
Right. I was just saying to the viewers that I saw this one. Create a Life of Cora story for €1,000, and you actually sold it, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, that was on the first day.
Wow.
Yeah, that like and I was on the Global Frequency stream.
Yeah.
And I was just underfunded at €500. And then someone in the chat was going 298%. And they were like, "What are you talking about?" And they refreshed, and it said like €1,500 out of nowhere, and you could go see me go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, man. Wow.
And so that was incredible.
Yeah, your goal was like 500, and now you're almost 5 times over it.
Yeah, like one more backer and we're set.
Yeah, amazing, man. So these other tiers, let's go through them quickly.
Yeah. So this tier is going to get you all the variants and of course the backer and stretch goals that we have unlocked so far. So you get issues 1 through 2 and 3, plus all variants of Life of Cora 4. The variant covers are going to be completely exclusive to this campaign. So they get printed once, and that's it.
Yeah, but you have to pick one, right? You have to pick one variant.
No. Yeah, I know. You get both variants, but the way I set it up, they ask you which variant you want. It's like just ask for either, and you will get both.
Oh, there's the option both.
No, no, no,
How do you
no.
want
If
to fix
you
that?
no, if you click get this perk for a second,
Oh wait.
so yeah, it asks you to variant select one, like physical.
Oh,
Yeah,
here.
there we
Right,
go.
right, 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 right.
And you just pick one, but you will get both variants. Like you get
Right.
the complete package.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, then you can get a digital for only €4. So that's
5
a deal.
USD.
If you
Yeah, and
don't
it's
have if you don't have the money for this, which is understandable, and you still want to support Mike with his wonderful project for €4, $5, that is, you can get yourself the digital copy. And then you have the catch up tier, which is all the comics.
yeah, all the digital ones.
Right.
So that's issues 1 through 4. You know, and if you want to catch up on the entire series, but don't have a lot of money, this is the one to get.
Right. Okay, cool. Then you go physical
Yes.
from €10.
So that is just the main cover.
Mhm.
And you know, for the people that backed Live on Cora 3 and got the backup series, then this is the one for you.
Right. The first variant or variant, I'm never sure
A variant,
how to
yeah.
pronounce it. Yeah.
Right.
The variant.
You can get either the Rich Baroda or the Nina
Yeah.
Aberlin variant.
Cool. The catch-up tier. This is the same one as the one above, but without the variants.
Yes. So this is just catching up on the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
And that is with all the main covers. And then for the next tier, you get one of the variants plus all the back issues.
All right. Yeah, you have every combination you have you have here. Yeah.
So
And then you
all
can get all
variants.
variants.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. That's nice. And if you have your own store and you want to put some comics in there for people to buy, then you get the discount tier.
So that's 60% off for 10 copies.
Mm-hmm.
And a little further down for €100, you can get 10 copies of every single issue for 75% off. So
Wow,
instead of
that's amazing.
€400, you pay 100.
Right. That's a good deal, man.
Yeah. Someone actually took it. I was super surprised when someone did.
That's always cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one that someone picked it. Yay. And then you have the original page, so you give away or people can buy original art.
Yes, so every single page on this series is this comic is traditionally inked by myself. And when you back this tier, you I will send you a link to a Google Drive with all the PNG files of the black and white pages. You select which one you want, and I will reserve it for you, and it will be in your reward package.
Right. So first come, first serve. So the first backer number gets first choice.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. And then we have this one, black and white commission.
Yeah. So I will pretty much draw you anything. There is an A4 tier for €60 and an A3 tier for 120. And you will get, of course, the main cover for Live on Cora 4 with it. And I will draw you pretty much anything in original inks.
Excellent. So if you want a drawing of a banana with a jetpack, Mike will make it for you. And you have, what's this? Plushies.
It's I'm offering plushies. They're only going to be 5 made at most. So I'm making these to order. On one of the early streams, the reaction to me talking about the plushies that I'm already working on anyway was so extreme that I offered to make them available. Wow. And so these 5 will be 16 inches or 40 centimeters. And
That's huge.
yeah, but they're made to order. They're not cheap, I know, but you're going to get the most exclusive plushies in the world, except if you make them yourself. And I was planning to make them myself, but I failed hard. And I was like, okay, by the time the campaign is over, I might just have a decent prototype, you know. I'm not going to
so you can't show any examples yet. It's for after the campaign.
Yeah, it's going to be of the rock dude from Live on Cora 3.
Right.
But it's like I actually have an update where I show how much it costs me to get these made, and it's literally 150 euros. So I'm not making any profit on it. I don't care. You know, I made a promise, so I'm gonna keep it.
Right. That's pretty cool, man. And you sold one, so that's nice.
Yeah.
The main cover you can get the original, I think, right?
Yes. So that is the version I inked. Yeah. And then there's also the version by Rich Barotta available.
All right. And you can create your own creature for 300.
Yes, and that means that I will take you aside. We'll think up a creature together, and it will be canon in Live on Cora. It'll appear in the background, and maybe if we like it enough, you know, and one of my writers gets inspired, we'll actually make it into an issue. You know, but no promises.
Excellent, man. A lot of choice. Something for everyone.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, man. Awesome. So if you're watching and you think this is pretty interesting, I left the links to the campaign in the description of this video, along with the link to Perfect 10, which is also still available. So check that one out. You're funding now and you still have 13 hours left. You're almost done.
Yeah, so we're going to go in demand, and we will fulfill very quickly. Like next month, I'm already going to send out all the I'm going to send out everything to RJ over at Critical Blast, and he will fulfill from within the United States. So I am at €8 to the United States, the United Kingdom, and the European Union. And it's free shipping in the Netherlands.
Right. Lucky me.
Yeah.
Okay. Eastland says she has some bills, so she won't be buying the book, but she shared it on Facebook or tried to share it. I will check and post it. Okay, that's
sharing is very, very big.
Sharing
already.
Is caring. We when people share and
trust me, that is very big of you.
Yeah, we love that.
Really, thank you.
Okay, cool. So you have a new stream planned for later?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Aria Blackstream at 11:15 my time or 10:15 UK, and that would be 5:15 Eastern.
Right. Bristolian Dave said, glad you're going in demand. You're right at the top of my list to back when I get money. Money's always easy, man.
Dave, you rock, man.
Just share it, man. That's we love that too. Hey,
Thank
58
you.
Underclouds here. Welcome, man. Looks like a cool comic. I'm going to check out the link later tonight. Thank you, man. Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a big football night for Dave.
Oh today. Yeah, we Dutchies were out very quickly, but
England versus Italy.
Yeah,
right?
Which means that I'm not following at all because it didn't even follow the Netherlands. But my God, did I hear it when they lost?
No, I don't care about it. But
it's coming home.
I'm happy for Dave. So
yeah.
Okay, Mike. Thank you very much for being my guest today.
Yeah, totally, man.
I really enjoyed talking to you, and thanks to everyone in the chat for the questions and the interaction. See, Ethan says share it today, but do not get too excited. That's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Okay,
Okay.
look, if there's 5 extra eyes on
Right.
my campaign,
You never know.
that could be the 5 that could be one person that will be interested enough to click it, check it out, and back for themselves. You don't know, and so every little share and be like, hey, this looks cool, I can't back it myself, but by all means check it out. That is gigantic. We need that more usually than a new backer, because that makes us familiar to people.
Yeah, people need to see your project, so people can help that share around, and they have their own audiences that you do not reach. So that's perfect.
Exactly.
Awesome. Keep doing that. Okay. This was the show for today. Thanks again, Mike. Thanks again, chat. Maybe we'll be here next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway, have a great day and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, lovelies.